Hello again, and thank you for joining as we start our episode for elementary. I am, as you can see, away. However, the show must go on. And in saying that, I am delighted to be interviewing this guest of mine. And she's going to ask me to join any minute. And hopefully you'll join the show as well. So, wherever you're watching from, or wherever you plan to watch from, I hope you're having a fabulous Monday. So, you can request to join, Diana. Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And you?
I'm pretty good.
That's awesome.
Uh,
So, I'm glad my connection was good because it's always kind of, when you're away, you're like, oh my God, I don't really know if this is going to work out, but I'm using, I was using my own phone earlier because I was at port, but I'm on the cruise right now. So I'm using their internet. Anyhow,
oh,
so, so exciting. Thank you. Thank you so much for, agreeing to get interviewed. I can't wait to hear from you. And so we'll get started. So tell us, introduce yourself. Let's start by telling everyone your Instagram handle and your name, your Instagram handle, that kind of stuff, so they know where to get you.
okay. My name's
Awesome.
Diana. I'm a personal branding photographer. I have an Instagram. My Instagram handle is Diana Renelli Photographer. There's also another Instagram handle. It's at Diana Renelli Photog, and that's more of a fine art sort of based feed. So I'm
Awesome. Awesome. So, yeah, amazing. So tell us about a little bit about your business. I'm
okay.
sure everyone's waiting to hear the local area that you're in, all that good stuff.
Okay. My studio is at around St. Clair and Winona, actually right at the corner. I have a studio there.
Mhm.
That's right in between Oakwood and Christie on
Mhm.
St. And I've had my studio there for about 4 years now. And
Mm.
I didn't always have a studio, but I'm so happy that I have one because on days like today when it's gray and raining, I have
Yeah.
a spot that I can bring people to and just invite them in and photograph them. Um, yeah. So my focus is on personal branding photography. Um, yeah, it wasn't always on personal branding photography, but I have found that I like this niche because I feel like I'm really able to help people create photographs that are going to help them create income to support themselves doing what they love.
Yeah, I saw the photos you did for Makeup by Design, Toronto Makeup by Design, I think it's called.
Yes.
And I interviewed her as well, and I happened to
You did
see
interview Sarah?
the branding. Yeah,
Yes.
a while back, last year, actually, last year, this year, some early last year or this year, I can't even remember when, but I did interview her, and
Right.
she was amazing. But that's where I saw the photo shoot you did with her, and it's pretty nice, pretty fun. And then I started following you. So yeah, always good,
Well,
definitely, for
that-
people.
yeah. Yeah, I've actually been working with Sarah on the last 4 or 5 shoots. We have another one coming up on Monday. So, yeah, I'm really excited
Wow.
that we have this connection. It's funny because I followed her for about 4 years or something before I was sort of able to, connect with her and start working together. So, yeah, she's
Yeah,
one.
so perfect.
Yes.
So what services do you offer? And maybe expand a little bit when you say personal branding for people who don't really know what personal branding is. Just tell them a little bit more about it and like what services you offer. Yeah.
Sure. Sure. Okay, so personal branding is kind of, well, I mean, I think everybody's familiar with the headshot. So personal branding
Mm-hmm.
is something like a headshot, except it's more elaborate. So a headshot is kind of a stagnant, one-off image that you just use everywhere. And now, because I think not just because of COVID, but a lot of people have become entrepreneurs and have small businesses. And so really they are this, and a lot of things are being done online, and it's really important for people to have a story or a narrative behind the photos that they have. So, I'm trying to create some compelling, authentic photography, um, show themselves off in a good way, create some kind of emotional response in people or clients that they want to attract. And so it just means showing different parts of their personality as opposed to just having sort of one little square frame of your face. I take photos of people in their environment. If they create products like soaps or jewelry or what have you, product is
Mm-hmm.
also part of that personal branding story, how they create it, how they make it. If you're service oriented, you know, like whether you're a therapist or you're a real estate agent, people want to see you. They want to see if you're approachable. They want, you know, like they just want to know who they're getting, and they need to see you often before they decide that they want to spend money with you or hire you or reach out and connect with you, right? So that's really the goal of personal branding photography. It's also something that is very intentional. So I do consultation. I spend like, you know, 45 minutes having them answer a lot of questions because I like to get them thinking if they haven't
Mm-hmm.
already thought in detail about where they're going. And even if they have, I mean, that's information that's really important for them to share with me so that I can create and help them create the photos that they want. Do they need a website banner? Do they need a billboard? What is their future self? Where do they see themselves 6 months to a year from now? I like for them to think about their future self. That's kind of an empowering way for people to be photographed because it gets them excited about their goals and helps propel them forward. And that's what we need to create when we're entrepreneurs and business owners because, it's so hard to do with like, we're kind of lone wolves out there. So it's really helpful to have somebody on your team that's trying to create something for you because you can't do everything yourself.
I mean, I can't give. I'll say this. For talented photographers and doing something like what you do, I actually didn't know how hard it was until I had to do one myself, right?
Right.
And quite frankly, it's a tough job. I thought it was like, oh, it's just taking pictures. How hard can it be? And then, you have to manage me and you have to manage, some of us need some help with posture, posing, smiling. Tiring. I was
Yes.
like pooped at the end of the day. I said, I could have sold three houses and still have energy, but I did a photo shoot and I was tired. And I'm like, oh my God, that
Yeah.
poor photographer, she must have been so doubly pooped because, I'm just being honest. It's a lot of work. And I'm like, wow. So I have a whole newfound respect for what you do, definitely. Um, but definitely very interesting, and I know what you said is so true. People want to see you. And, I myself have to constantly put pictures and I'm kind of shy and awkward, but I have to like do my best to like break that and just take a picture and put it up. And, so I kind of understand what you're saying.
Job. Yeah. I think you do a great
So,
there.
I try because and I don't want to be, you know, what I put up is what you see is what you get. Like that's who I am. I'm like odd and quirky, and you know, it's like, so. But it's
Yeah,
all good, right? It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's why. I mean, the most original thing about your business is you. So, you know, that's why having photographs of yourself up there is so important, and putting yourself out there and your personality and doing these Instagram videos because um, you're it. Like, you know, what differentiates you from other people? It's your personality, how you connect with others. And so if we can do a good job of showing your personality coming through, then you're going to connect with the right people that you want to connect with. And just to your point about the energy that it takes to manage people, you you know, there are a lot of moving parts in photography, but you know, the thing is that if you have a nice connection with the person you're photographing, they don't become a huge thing to manage. Like it's, you know, like you,
Yeah.
that's why it's really important to have a consultation at the beginning of the process of, you know, the photographic journey because, um, yeah, you just want that person to feel comfortable, to know who you are, to understand that you have empathy for them, that, you know, it's difficult for them to get behind the you know, on the other side of the camera.
Yeah.
Um, and the thing is that a lot of people worry about this posing thing. And really, that's my job. Your job's not, it's my job. My job, right? I'm going to take that away from people. I'm going to say, you know, you might be worried about a few extra pounds. You might be worried about, you know, which is my good side. You may be worried, like there's so many things, but that's why,
Hmm.
right? So I'm there to get it right. That's my job, and you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to tell you to do a few awkward things, but you're going to look great at the end of it. That's the hope here, right? And then when people feel like they're taken care of, then they can just relax and be themselves.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
yeah, that's, I mean, that's the whole point. And even with the consultation, then we talk about clothing and, you know, what looks best on people and all of that, and hair and makeup. And so, you know, with my session fee, you you get a complimentary hair and makeup session in addition. So that's also taken off. You don't have to worry. It's kind of like a nice little pampering session before you get in front of the camera, you know? So
Hmm.
you know, all those things are sort of taken care of ahead of time so that the day of, it's not this huge worry and upset and like, oh my gosh, I don't have this to wear. Or, yeah, all those things are prepared ahead of time. So there's a lot of energy that goes into being on both sides of the camera, and sort of, you know, that's where we have like a creative collaboration because, you know, you've put your trust in me and I'm doing my job to help you get where you want to be, and you know, um, and help you to be seen the way you'd like to be seen.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. Of course, you know, there are a lot of realtors that I hope they watch the rerun if they're not watching already, because I mean, a lot of them have really good pictures and, you know, a lot of branding and a lot of stuff taken care of. And
Yes.
some others need some help. Like I show up and I don't recognize them, right? And so it's kind of like
Real.
wondering how
Okay.
would your clients recognize you because you've got such an old picture, right?
Well, yeah,
So,
that's the thing. It's important to be up to date with that stuff, especially if you are meeting people on a day-to-day basis. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
When did you first, you know, develop an interest for photography or, you know, getting into this line of work? I know, I don't think it's a line of work. I think it has to be something that, you know, you have an artsy side, I can tell. But yeah, but tell us, when did you start getting into this, develop an interest?
I, well, pretty young. You know, I got a little camera for my birthday when I was like in grade 5 or something. And so then I became like the the family photography pest, and then it's like I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people were influenced by Annie Leibovitz. My brother used to get Rolling Stone magazine sent to him, like he had a subscription, and I just fell in love with her photos because I felt like I could make a story out of the photos that she created, and I would, read the articles, and of course we all love music. We're all influenced by music. Um, but I was also influenced by how she created um, yeah, these photographs with people that whatever played instruments, sang, like, yeah. So, um, yeah, and then I actually didn't get into it until I had my kids. So I started. I mean, I started photographing, like I was photographing sort of all the way along, but became more serious about it when they were actually before my son was born. I went to Italy with my parents and I was interested in sort of capturing some photographs of our family history. Where they grew up, where my dad went to school. So I did a little bit of that, and then when my son was in kindergarten, somebody said, you really should photograph the kids in our class, and so they went to a smaller school. So I ended up every year taking photographs for like maybe 200 families of like the children.
That's cool.
So
Mhm.
I did that for a while, and I, photographed families as well. So yeah,
Amazing. Yeah, those Italy pictures I'm sure were beautiful.
well, like yeah, they're
So,
oh, yeah.
what motivates you to continue, taking these photographs and, doing this branding? Because you have to have something that motivates you. Just don't,
Yeah.
you know, uh,
Yeah, that's a
I
good point.
think you,
Yeah, I really enjoy making a connection with people, so that's the first thing. Um,
mhm,
and the other thing is that with personal branding, I feel like I can really help people. A lot of us are, all making transitions in our lives. We don't want to work for corporations, or we really want to work for ourselves, or we have a
yeah,
passion for something in particular and we want to, and so I feel that with my photography, I can help them put food on the table doing the thing that they're most passionate about and what they
mm,
love doing. And I think that's a really, I think it's a good reason to do it. I think it motivates me because, um, yeah, I mean, I want people to be successful and feel like they can do what they want to do in the world. We only
yeah,
have a
and
short time, so
yeah, that's right, that's right. And I mean, it's important, right? Like I think there's this whole new world that has emerged after the last 2 years. A lot of people are, branching out, working from home, doing all these other things, and um, so it's so important. And the consumer or the buyer of today was not like the buyer of before. They do want to um, be able to get to know people, to see a little bit about them, um, before they'll kind of do business with them, right? Which I think is important. So, I know you started on this, I think a little bit. I was going to ask you what your creative process was like about consultation and intake, and you kind of touched on it. Was there anything more you wanted to add to that part, or maybe I'll ask you a different question instead? Because I know I kind of asked you that already.
about the process.
Yes,
Cut out a little bit, so yeah. So you
so
were just
sorry.
asked me the question about like the intake and all that and that process.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I said you mentioned it earlier. You had
Yes,
mentioned that you do a consultation, you do all of that. Was there anything more you wanted to add to that piece, or?
sure. I
Um,
can just say that in addition to the consultation, people are welcome to ask any questions along the way. And,
Mhm.
if they run into a problem, if they have a question about what they should wear, if they're worried about their makeup or their hair, usually the makeup artist is more than happy to, um, you know, talk to them about that because it can create a bit of stress for people, especially if have particular hair or or their
Yeah.
skin, right? So that's one of the things that all along the way you're welcome to ask questions for sure. And the other thing is that at the end of the process, once I take the photographs and then I edit the images, then I do a reveal session where we go through the photos together, and
Oh,
then
nice.
yes, so we go through a selection process and you decide how many photos you want to take. It's like a no pressure, um, there's no pressure to purchase. Um, and you buy what you love and you buy what you need. And where,
Mhm.
that if you think that these photos are going to be useful to you and you're comfortable with them because you really love them. So that's the other thing I wanted to say. And yeah, they're usually there's an editing process that goes on before they're actually shown to you. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. So, what are some of your favorite subjects to photograph? Um, other than, other than people.
um, well, I mean, I love nature and I love flowers. I know that's kind of cliche, but I don't know. There's just something about them. There's a stillness about them, little
Mhm.
delicate. And when you have beautiful light, you can do a lot with them. If you go to my Diana Renelli photog feed, you can see some of my work there. I did start an online store for that photography during COVID. Um, but I feel like I need a balance of both. I really need to be with people. I enjoy photographing them. I enjoy helping them. But then there's the other aspect of it, which is art. So you can hang photographic art on your walls. Um, my store is down right now, but I'm planning on reviving it. And I'm hoping to relaunch probably for Black Friday. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm hoping to get that relaunched, get some more art up there so that people can purchase them. They make beautiful gifts for people at Christmas, and yeah, I love doing that. It gets me outside, it gets me connected to the source, whatever source, people, it's an energy, it's a connection, it's a grounding, because with both aspects of photography, there's the business part. And so that takes up a lot of energy. And I feel like if I'm not creating, whether it's photographing people or photographing the things I love, I kind of get cranky. And I think that, I mean, I'm sure that's with most people, if they're not connecting to themselves, it's hard. I mean, that's what I do. So when you're doing the marketing and all of those things, it can really take over, right? So
Yeah,
you really
yeah,
make
yeah.
practice, 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 practice.
So, what would you say is the most challenging thing about photography? Like, what is the most challenging thing, maybe?
Um, well, I think the most challenging thing is actually, keeping that balance, making sure that you do go out and practice because like, I feel like I'm always challenging myself, so I want to do better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, there's a lot of things to learn in photography and there are a lot of things to keep
Mm-hmm.
up. So, your editing skills get better. You want to always improve your photographic skills, and all of that's practice. And I think the most challenging part really was the business aspect at the beginning, because I think when you're a photographer, you're hoping that, oh, people are just gonna love what I do, so they're just gonna hire me.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
like
We think that too as realtors, though. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so we all think that the people are just going to come in the door. So, probably wasn't so strong on the business side at the beginning. So, that would be my advice to anybody who wants to be in photography is that you're going to need to know the business side as well. You're going to need to know it. It's just inevitable. Like if you want to make money doing this, that you have to learn that. Yeah.
Perfect. And I think you just answered my last question as well. And it was one piece of advice you would give someone who's really interested in photography, or
Right.
starting a photography business, sorry. And that's what I was going to ask you, but you kind of already answered it by saying, learn the business side of things, right? And I think that's where um, most entrepreneurs get a little stuck, I think, because, unless you went to business school or something like that, you don't turn your mind towards it, right?
Right.
It always comes in after because you're so focused on this other stuff you want to move forward, right? So that's great advice. Thank you for that. Anything else you want to share
Uh,
with people, or did I capture it all in the line of questions I asked?
I think you pretty well captured it all, but I'm always looking to work with entrepreneurs who are hungry to, build their business and are excited about stepping into the future. And if you want to have a consultation, they're free. If you want to ask questions, um, and talk to me about what your future vision is, I'm available for consultations. You can DM me on Instagram. You can call me on the phone. You can email me. If you go to my website, I have a website, dianarenelli.com. You can contact me many ways, and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. So, yeah, that's really what I want to say, that I'm excited about the possibilities of working with people.
So there you go. You heard it. If you want to get rebranded and you want some photography, some not just headshots. These are more
Right.
than just headshots, right? So
Right.
get in touch. You know, I mean, I'm sure you love her work. I've seen some of her work in action. She seems like she's always having fun. So thank you again. Thank you so much for agreeing to give me some of your time. I so appreciate it. And for all of you
Sure.
watching, I am always grateful for your time as well, the time you take to spend with us. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jacqueline Watson. I'm a realtor with Sutton Group in Toronto. I do this show Mondays at 6, most Mondays at 6, unless I have a cancellation. Um, but I'm also available. I post the show online and I also have a podcast. So feel free to, if you miss it, check us out on the podcast. We're always trying to bring you some, exciting topics. So thank you so much again. And thank you for your time. So appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody,
Yeah.
also.
All right. Have a good evening. I'm going to go have fun now.
Good. Enjoy your.
Bye.
Bye.